UFC 196 was the beginning of the end for Conor McGregor. The fanboys thought he was invincible, and seeing him lose was like finding out that your favorite streamer is married. I'm assuming that any Conor fan knows who this is.
Dance for me, and don't look me in the eye when you dance.
Hey, what's up everybody, my name is Jesse, and I'm the founder and grandmaster of MMA, Mexican martial arts. This video was sponsored by the Ridge Wallet, and they are coming to take over the wallet business. More on that later. This was a horribly timed matchup for Conor McGregor. Him deciding to take the fight with Nate Diaz at this point in his career was on that same level as John Lennon saying that the Beatles were bigger than Jesus. Even though that's not what he was on a 15-fight winning streak, 7-0 in the UFC, 6 by TKO or knockout, featherweight champion, eating disorder. He was supposed to fight RDA, and to be honest, he probably would have won that fight, becoming the first ever double champ in UFC history even earlier. Being that I'm somewhat of an MMA mathematician, I could confidently say that based on Conor's fight with Eddie Alvarez, Conor would have easily defeated RDA. Alvarez lost his first fight in the UFC, then won 2 split decisions and got a title shot. That's almost as bad as giving some fool shot at the title without even having a single fight in the division, but that's irregular. Alvarez won that fight. Maybe the bruise on RDA's foot hadn't fully healed. I don't know. Conor would have stayed looking like a king had he fought Dos Anjos, at least for a little longer, because he probably still would have fought Mayweather. But supposedly RDA's foot was a balloon, so he had to back out. And that's where Nate Diaz comes in. BJ Penn wanted the fight. So did Pettis, Cerrone, and Faber. But you already know Dana White's always trying to be Vince McMahon, so he couldn't resist that call out. Nate Diaz wanted respect, and Conor McGregor wanted carbs, so they agreed to fight at 170. Conor underestimated Diaz, and he claimed that he would be like a ghost in there.
I'll be a ghost in there.
Little did he know that this would become one of his Mystic Mac predictions come true. And his lack of respect for Diaz caused him to go into the fight unprepared.
I'd never prepare for opponents, I simply prepare.
He spent all of his time training, almost kicking stuff, almost kicking candles, almost kicking Conan O'Brien. You're gonna fight the way you train, homie. And then there he is, almost kicking Nate Diaz, almost saying good enough. Unless you're talking about Almost Famous. That's a great movie. I don't even know what to say about this. I just want you to see it. But I know what you really want to see is that fight. Let me break it down for you. So Nate Diaz took this fight on 11 days notice, making it the first time that a short notice fight was actually worse for the one with the full training camp. In case you're ever interested in becoming an MMA fighter, then training for a triathlon like Nate Diaz was apparently doing is clearly a lot better than whatever Conor McGregor was doing. But the start of the fight had me wondering what Nate Dogg was doing. This was the biggest fight of his life, and that fool was still blocking shots with his face. But then it kind of evened out because McGregor was almost kicking him. But even that was too close for Nate's liking. He didn't want to end up like a candle in the wind. So he clinched him up and put him on the cage. And to be completely honest, I got a little bit distracted right here because I noticed young Jamie noticing himself on camera. And he started clowning. And he doesn't get a lot of attention, except for when Joe Rogan gets mad at him. So I couldn't really blame him. This was his big moment. So I rewinded it to see what I had missed. And I got distracted again. But then the third time, I saw what happened. And I realized that it was actually pretty uneventful. And not at all worth spending this much time talking about. There was actually some pretty good boxing in this first round, by MMA standards, of course. But when McGregor disrespected Nate's style, he slapped him up. You would think that Conor will find a lot of success with his infamous left hand, being that Nate Diaz is a southpaw and that his right side is a lot closer than most fighters. But Nate's ancient blocking punches with head style is actually a method of conditioning. You see, some fools are born hard-headed, and some fools earn it. So these shots simply didn't faze him. I just hope that it doesn't have any long-term effects.
You better hope.
So Conor facing a southpaw actually backfired for him, as it usually does. And since you bring up Poirier, I thought McGregor had never heard about leg kicks.
The low calf kick, I've never experienced that.
So how was he throwing them right here? Either way, All that throwing was making him tired. His conditioning had failed him. I played touch butt in the park. He wasn't doing it right. He was moving slow. And Diaz took advantage of this. Conor threw a sloppy kick and got taken down. And then that fool thought he was gonna get a leg lock. McGregor trying to throw a leg lock is like Chase Hooper trying to throw punches, or Donald Cerrone trying to throw a fight. Nobody's buying it. There's no denying this choke though, unless your name is Herb Dean. But you already know that Nate's not going out like that. So he disrespects Conor by farting in his face. You almost can't hear it because of the horn, but it's there. So Conor just got slapped up. Left wasn't working. He was winded. Took a pedo to the face. And now Joe Rogan's acting like he just made a highlight reel.
There's a nice left hand by Conor. And there's another one. And there's another one, and that was the one that really cut him. Yeah.
But maybe that was a good thing, because Nate Diaz heard what he said, and he got mad. So he slapped up Conor again. And you already know that McGregor is not one to take a slap lightly. So he started working the body, and he was feeling pretty good about himself. And at this point, a lot of people watching probably thought he was doing good, because he had cut Nate open. But you gotta understand that that's just a part of Nate's game plan. You see, most fools are sensitive to seeing blood. So he constantly uses this trick to intimidate his opponents, and he learned it from the best. Unfortunately, it backfires sometimes, but it was working right here. Conor was feeling queasy, and there was nothing behind that left hand, making him feel even worse. But of course, the commentators kept hyping him up.
He said he didn't come here to take part. Said he came here to take over. We didn't know it was going to be at multiple weight classes.
They were obviously rooting for Conor. Their commentary was almost as biased as mine.
So this fool could bend styles, but he can't bend weight classes.
And finally, Nate had had enough. And he started teeing off on that fool, like if the price was wrong.
The price is wrong.
So Conor got an idea, and he started trying to intimidate Nate by getting his own face bloodied up. It was brilliant, really. So he tried throwing shots again, hoping that his new appearance would discourage Diaz. Well, he might as well have thrown a shot at proper 12, because Nate was already buzzing. This was one of the most ill-fated moves in all of UFC history.
They become panic grapplers.
But we will all be forever thankful for the memes that it produced.
Oh, you're a wrestler.
Conor tapped like if he had somewhere to be. And then all of a sudden, the fickle fans started cheering. Everybody was booing him earlier, so he started flexing on those haters. Literally. But he was a gentleman. He went up to McGregor, and they squashed it. But Bruce Buffer and Herb Dean thought they were losing their jobs. I don't know why everyone was acting so surprised though. Nate wasn't surprised.
I'm not surprised.
That fool that started banging on Joe Rogan wasn't surprised. But that look of surprise was on McGregor's face throughout that entire post-fight press conference. Even when Diaz started cracking unintentional jokes.
Hold up, I'm warmed up now, so I figured it would probably go somewhere.
And then I thought that McGregor was joking at first when he started talking about BJJ. Like if he actually knew what he was doing.
I looked to pass guard, but he had that high elbow guillotine, so I was forced to roll to my back.
But then I quickly realized that he was being quite serious when he explained the ultimate reason for his loss.
I was simply inefficient with my energy. But I was simply inefficient with my energy. He was just simply more efficient with his energy. He was very efficient with his energy. He was efficient with his energy, and I was inefficient. It was simply a battle of energy in there, and he got the better of that, so.
You've got your entanglements, you've got your conscious uncouplings, and now you've got...
I was simply inefficient with my energy.
And after hearing him say this, I had to go back and watch the fight again. Because the first time around, I thought he lost because he was getting socked up. He didn't have any stamina. His punches couldn't phase Nate, and that he got choked. But after watching it the second time, I realized that I was inefficient with my energy by watching it again, because I was clearly right the first time. At the end of the day, Conor was simply not prepared for this fight. You can't fight every single fighter the exact same way, unless your name is Royce Gracie and you only plan on winning until a few other fools learn how to BJJ. And the trash talk that usually gives them the upper hand actually backfired this time. You can't trash talk someone that's dead inside.
Nate, that must get into your head when someone says they're gonna bury you in Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Conor, how close are you?
And then he exposed himself when he was trying to act like he knew about Stockton.
Full of snitches in Stockton. Mm-hmm. Never heard of Stockton in my life.
He knew even less about Stockton than Khabib knew about Oxford.
What is this, Oxford?
And when he saw that Nate wasn't intimidated, it broke him. That fool's gimmick had worn out. A lot like your wallet. If you're still walking around with one of these in your back pocket, then you better hope that you haven't already done permanent damage.
You better hope.
If you haven't switched over to the Ridge wallet, then this is basically you right now. The Ridge wallet is a front pocket wallet that fits up to 12 cards and your cash. I know what you're thinking. What about my coins? Get a backpack, homie. Throw them in there. You could throw in a phone case while you're at it. Hey, this is real life right here. My phone recently got messed up and I can't charge it right here anymore. It doesn't fit. Good thing I got my power bank. The Ridge wallet has over 30,000 5-star reviews, free worldwide shipping, and a 45-day money-back guarantee if you decide to be inefficient with your energy. Just go to ridge.com/Voto and put in the promo code VOTO for 10% off. Thank you for watching Mexican Martial Arts. Appreciate it. Good looking out. Late. Tune in next week for the Blockowitz versus Adesanya breakdown. I know it's gonna be old already, but that's why I'm gonna remind you.